good, the bad, and the odd. They do go on.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Mike and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so this one's a free pick. Your free pick. And you wanted to do Tron, the original Tron, which you've not seen before.
Yeah, I've never seen it, despite the sequel being, I think it was the first thing we ever covered.
Yes, I believe it was. The first ever episode was Tron Legacy. And I haven't seen that film, I don't think, since
then, no.
Okay.
I listened to the soundtrack a few times, but...
oh, yeah, that's
Not the
Daft Punk, right? It's awesome soundtrack, yeah. Okay, so, but let's do our usual comfy chair. So we've got a comfy chair. Do you mind if I start this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I usually try and start with an odd or bad, if I've not watched something, and this one's distinctly odd and bad. I watched the second season because I quite like the first season of a sitcom that's on iPlayer called Am I Being Unreasonable? This is Daisy May Cooper as like this housewife that's just all this chaotic stuff happens to her. And it's a kind of weird because it's kind of a thriller comedy than a comedy. And when I watched season one, I didn't know this. I thought it was just the sort of day in the life kind of stuff. But then you start finding out bad things about each member of the family almost. And then the mysteries layer and layer and layer. And it was pretty good, but it ended on a cliffhanger season one, right? So, okay. So season 2 has just come out. So watch season 2. And man, did it take a swerve to bad. Oh, God, it was bad. The comedy stuff was still okay, but the actual story it just got stupid. How many turns and some of the plotting was just odd. You know, it felt like, was that a time jump? Because it feels like this is about 6 weeks later from the last scene, but there's no context, no setting, no explanation. It's almost like, we've missed at least several scenes here, haven't we? It's kind of like that, right? And I'm not going to watch anymore if they bring out season 3. It was just not good. So they went with weird. It obviously paid off somewhat because they got recommissioned, and I think it was critically. I mean, it was pretty good season 1, but I think it really went off the rails here. So yeah, I'd avoid this one. Am I being unreasonable? I quite like Daisy May Cooper and stuff, but I just did not like how this show is progressing. And again, it finished with a cliffhanger, and I don't really care anymore, so I'm not going to watch it. Yeah, one of them. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, so my first one is something loosely discussed in the last comfy chair we did.
Yeah.
Star Trek: The Next Generation Code of Honor.
Oh!
What the fuck? This was atrocious. Like, who signed off on this?
I know. What? I think they were trying to be progressive and say, look, we're so progressive that we can do racist stereotypes, but they're not really because we're so progressive. And it's like, nah. Right? Would you say that's fair?
3, though. It's like, it's just awful. For context, for people who haven't seen it, so we are introduced to a race of aliens, all played by unmade-up black people.
Yeah, African Americans.
They're not they've not got the rubber foreheads and whatnot.
No,
that you usually associate with Star Trek heroes.
Yeah.
They are just black people.
Yeah,
and they have this weird thing of like they just they're first off they're quite sexist. Straight off the bat to Tasha Yar, and then they kidnap her and try to force her to be like the bride of one of the main characters, one of the villains.
Yeah.
And it ends in a weird fight over the villain. But there's constant discussion between Tasha and Troy about, you actually quite like this attention, don't you?
Yeah, I know. Oh God, you reminded me how bad it is. I'd forgotten about it.
And the episode after, there's a regular discussion about how Tasha Yar was dodging rape gangs.
I know. It's so non-Star Trek.
Did you think this was like a good swerve for this?
Yeah, I mean, it does settle down, but there's some weird lines in the first 6 episodes, I'd say. Funny enough, I don't remember any issues in Encounter at Farpoint, but it's like there's always something an episode after that for a while, and then it settles down. It's like I feel like they're going, we're trying to show how the future's so progressive. They can freely talk about this stuff. And it's like, oh, God, this does stop. Right. But the rest of it's all right. I mean, I say that, the framework's all right. I mean, Picard, Data, Riker. Right, well, Riker's his own thing, isn't he, really? Yeah. But that hasn't settled in yet at this point, has it? He's just like a...
So he's not growing the beard. He's still just some weirdo stepping over chairs.
He's just a number one, isn't he? He's not particularly standout at that point. I mean, he is. He's all right, but Picard's the boy, isn't he? And Data, really. The thing is, there's weirdness all through this. It's a great show. Don't get me wrong, but there's definitely Geordie's a stalker. Is a through line. There's one guy, Barkley, who's a fantasist, who's hilarious because he recreates his fantasies on the holiday, and they're not weird; they're just funny in that he just, how he portrays people. They're pathetic. Yeah. That's exactly it. And there's stuff like that, and there's the whole, messianic thing with Wesley, right, as well. That's
who I've read is now apparently like a Q figure in the setting. So I don't know. So
okay,
I'm not sure. But yeah, Code of Honor, terrible. Why the fuck did they make that? I've read somewhere that Michael Dorn said he would have fucking quit if he was part of that episode, but he wasn't in that sort of shooting schedule. So he didn't know about it until after.
Until they say, so why would you? What? Why? I mean, it's basically this week's episode, the Planet of Evil Black People. It's like, no, don't do that. I hope no one cuts that quote from, out of context. Okay. My next one, now we're going to go from a low to a high here, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. Rewatched my 4K copy. In fact, no, this is my first watch of the 4K copy, but rewatched Dredd.
Okay.
Still absolutely knocks it out of the park. Just kind of gets better with each rewatch, but for no obvious reason. It's just, it's almost like comfort watching. It's like, okay, let's just watch something fantastic, and you put Dredd on. And there's just so many great moments. He's like, his briefness of comment about so many things. He just says one or two words. He really does not give a fuck. And it's like, he's just annoyed that someone's claiming, to be the law when he's the law.
It's a film that works on you can say this a lot, but there's so many levels. Like, you can just watch it as a fun popcorn action film.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of this is a terrible, dystopian future thing. It's kind of Starship Troopers-y.
Yeah, right. That's a good comparison. I mean, I was wondering what would make a good double bill, and actually, Starship wouldn't be that far out. But actually, another Verhoeven film would be perfect, probably RoboCop. I feel RoboCop is basically a Dredd film, but made before any Dredd films.
You just reminded me. There's a documentary about the making of RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboDoc in it or something.
Yeah, some of the stuff they say about I can't remember his name, but the guy that played
Verhoeven.
RoboCop.
Oh, Paul Weller. Peter Weller. Sorry, Peter.
Yeah, he's a method actor, and they they just took the piss out of him because he kept being like, "Please refer to me as Robo," and they're like, "I'm not doing that, Peter."
Can you imagine Miguel Ferrer putting up with that? No, it's not going to happen.
They one bit, apparently he didn't, but apparently there's one bit where one of the weapons techs just had a stack of Oreos, and he was holding the gun ready for the shot. And it's like, "You got the gun, Peter?" And he just turned to him and goes, "Robo wants an Oreo." And he's like, "I'm not giving you an Oreo, Robo. Peter can have an Oreo if he asks for it like a normal person." And Peter Weller walked over to the side and started going, "Doug has Oreos. Robo wants an Oreo." And over their radio, they got, "Have you got Oreos up there?" So the guy just put the whole stack of Oreos in his mouth and ate them. He goes, "Not anymore." The best bit is,
I have to say, I love Peter Weller for that. It's just meant
up to Peter Weller, and he's like, "I haven't got a fucking clue what that guy's talking about."
He's denying it, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dread continues.
Yes.
I mean, the other thing is the whole reason Anderson hasn't got the helmet. It all makes sense. It all fits together. This is how I described it on my Letterboxd review, one of the earliest times I reviewed it, and it's still a perfectly correct review, which is I described this is a lean, muscular war dog of a movie. That's what it is. It's lean and it's mean and it's awesome. The only misstep for me is I just cannot get on with the motorbike. It just looks shit.
Yeah, it's a bit whippy.
Yeah, they needed to just have a muscle bike with some guns attached or something, right?
Yeah.
Which is what the law bringer is, right? That's what the law bringer is.
It's functionally a bike tank.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's what they should have done. But apart from that, I think it's
it kind of made sense to me because it feels more early Mega City 1 than like some of the stuff you see in the comics where they've got like the Manta tanks and giant samurai fighting each other.
Yeah, you're right. It does feel like early Mega City 1. The only other thing that was a bit troublesome is the bribable judges. That just doesn't ring true at all. In terms of what judges are like.
That happened fairly commonly to Dread. Like,
I don't remember it. Apart from when,
like every other.
Yeah, the only time I can remember judges like fighting with it. Well, no, there's probably lots, but the main one was probably Judge Cal, right?
Yeah.
But who brainwashed other judges. That was kind of different. But I think they'd have done better if they'd have said, right, we got these judges in disguise. You know, we got these mobster guy, really tough assassins dressed as judges. That would have been all right too.
Yeah,
that would have worked. But you know what? The whole thing's it's really good. It's just really. Lena Head is really good as Mama as well.
Yeah, she's really scary.
She's scary as fuck. Yeah, I think
categorize Dread as like possibly the perfect adaptation because while it does strip away a lot of the comic stuff, so like the Mega City 1's not nearly as big, it's not nearly as like mutated, and it's not nearly as horrifying.
Yeah,
but it's still so tightly written, and you can still see where that stuff might spin off. Like one of the first scenes, you see one of the fatties, which is like a weird niche thing from the comics. Where people are so large they require like wheels attached to the front of their bellies.
Yeah.
But there's one of them just gets swept up in a recycle van.
Yeah, I quite like that they stuck to realism, so there wasn't dinosaurs and aliens and mutants. Well, there is a mutant, I guess, with Anderson, but you know what I mean. And I still maintain we need I think everyone who likes Dread wants a second film. They need to expand it a little, but then they have to go full epic in number 3. Apocalypse War would be my choice. Yeah. Because it's still very realistic. There's not bloody mutants and spaceships and dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, I think say Apocalypse War, then I know it fucks with the chronology of the actual comics, but I think they should do Cursed Earth after Apocalypse War if they do that. This is, of course, on the back of like they've been saying they're doing that Streets of Mega City 1 TV show for like 10 years now.
Forever. Now it's spun into. There's also talk of I think Strontium done, but nothing's coming of it. Yeah. Rebellion have built a studio though, so something might happen. Okay, anyway, Dread.
We got so distracted there.
yeah. Go on, you'll go.
Okay, so my next one is on the back of the unfortunate recent passing of David Lynch. Me and my friends started a rewatch of Twin Peaks. We're only 3 episodes in at the moment, but boy, so it's interesting watching the friends that haven't seen it. Like stuff, some of the insane shit that happens.
Yeah. I mean, the end of episode 3 is like,
I mean,
but that pilot is fantastic, right? Yeah. I mean, it sets up so much without feeling rushed or confusing in any way. It's so really good. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, it's I think personal highlights of these 3 episodes was Cooper's deductive method. Where he's like throwing rocks at a bottle, and he's like long speech on the plight of the Tibetan people. Yeah, we got our first damn fine cup of coffee. The weird attacks on people. Like I don't know how recently you rewatched this, but the first time we see like Leo being abusive to Shelley. He gets the like a bar of soap and puts it in a sock.
Yeah,
and then he swings it above his head like a lasso.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, and she's got all that plastic wrapping around her eye, which is very, oh, look at that plastic wrapping. Yeah, I only finished watching, I literally finished an entire rewatch a week before David Lynch died. So it's all fairly and I wasn't slow rewatching. I went through them fairly quickly. I followed along with a podcast called The Rewatch Project, who covered Twin Peaks as one of their rewatches, one episode a week. So actually, it was quite slow. Now thinking of it, but I did think a lot about having a podcast talking about. You think about each episode much more, don't you? You know, things like that.
Yeah. Currently, we've only done 2 sessions of it, but we're watching two episodes worth. So we watched the pilot first time. Then episodes 2 and 3, or 1 and 2, as they're technically called. But yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. The Twin Peaks numbering and naming is
God damn it, David Lynch, why did you do this to us? So.
yeah. Okay, good. It's my favourite TV series. What can I say? And I'm watching one of my other great favourite, and I'd say TNG is probably my top 10, as we talked about that. But I'm rewatching another one from a top 5, which is The Prisoner at the minute. But Twin Peaks is my number one. I think this might be the 9th full rewatch.
Wow.
So I find it totally absorbing. That's the thing. I either like what people consider the crappy season 2 stuff. I like it. I don't like some of it, but there's lots of it I do like.
Like just some of the insane shit Cooper says in season 2.
Season 2,
it's just like there's nothing quite as liberating as urinating in the open air.
I knew you were going to say that.
What?
I also like the Dick and Andy detective story about little Nicky.
Yes.
That's amazing. But I enjoy. What can you say? This is one of the great TV. It changed TV. Changed TV. This, and it's still nothing been quite like it. Other than possibly Twin Peaks: The Return, which he went even madder. But yeah,
I want to know, just after The Return released, how many people were in Las Vegas casinos doing the hello?
Ooh, you would, wouldn't you? If you were there. Hello.
Oh, it's so annoying there.
Yeah,
gonna leave. Hello.
Okay, Twin Peaks, great. Next one is another great piece of TV. I finally watched they only come out recently, and I've watched the final episodes of Cobra Kai, season 6.
Not too many spoilers here, because I'm only 2 episodes.
Okay, well, I won't. All I can say is I'm very happy. I'm very happy with how everything went. There's a few things I'll talk to you about once you've watched it. But in general, the whole thrust of it, I really enjoyed it. And William Zabka has some excellent scenes, some of which you wouldn't have seen yet, but he really delivers on this. And I just like how it all resolves in a really nice way. There's a couple of goofy things, and I think they rush some of the storylines, but I don't really care. Okay. Don't really care. I just thought it was an excellent thing. And I think this might be one of these shows I'll watch once a year because it's so damn watchable. Yeah. And it's really weird how watchable it is. Because honestly, it's 60% teen drama, which I'm not interested in. But there's something about this world. I think it's the constant pissed offness and sheer angry, ornery nature of Johnny Lawrence that makes it awesome. And then you get characters like, not just LaRusso, but, Chosen, things like that. Yeah. It's just amazing. And Silver's one of the great bad guys of TV. That helps too. And Kreese is no slouch in that matter as well. I really thought it delivered. This is a great... If you got a bit of time, just going through Cobra Kai. I think I've watched season 1 3 times now. Maybe actually, you know what? Maybe more. I think I watch season 1 every time a new season comes out, so it might be more. But I didn't watch it when it was first on because I was like, why would I want to watch a show about the guy that lost in Karate Kid? But it's totally absorbing.
Yeah,
and
really we watched. Was it 4 or 5 seasons in pretty much like a month or two?
Yeah. We were watching 4 or 5 a sitting, weren't we?
Yeah.
4 episodes a sitting. We were getting through some seasons in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we had time.
It was quite insane. So.
Yeah, but it was so entertaining, right? And I gotta watch the next one now. So much of that. But it is a lot of teen drama. Why is it so addictively watchable? I do not know. Yeah. I just really liked the fighting's pretty good as well. It has to be said. Anyway, really big recommend for that one too. Back to you.
Okay, so my next one actually kind of came from watching Twin Peaks. It's a weird bit of trivia, I know. It's a video game called BioShock 2. Now, if you've ever heard of BioShock, it's the city set in the city under the sea where everything's gone terribly, terribly wrong. Where there's big daddies, the iron-covered metal men who protect the little sisters who harvest genetic goo, as they describe it, from corpses that gets refined and put out as publicly available mutagens that let you use superpowers. The city is in haywire, so like it's atrocious to live there. It's awful. It's all built on Randian philosophy as well. Like it's full objectivism. So one man is entitled to the sweat on his brow. But the reason I ended up playing it is because I know there's a bit of trivia in one of the first levels of the game. There's a bit where what's her name, Sheryl Lynn. Laura Palmer's actress.
Cheryl Lee.
Yeah, that's it. Due to a scheduling mix-up, she's got like 2 lines in the game because they needed another actress called like Cheryl Lee and then a last name, and it's like she just ended up in the booth, so they just recorded some lines with her. And then they were like, "Oh no, you're the wrong person. You need to get over to that studio." They're like, "Okay." So she's in the game.
How about that? I wonder if they got her mixed up with Sherilyn Fenn, because the beginning sort of sounds Sherilyn Fenn. Could be, right? Weird. Maybe. How about that? So that's an old game, right?
Yeah, that is 2010. So 15
I thought it was
years
older.
old.
Wow, okay.
Wow. It's only just 15 years old. It's like 9th of February it was released.
Oh, wow, about that. Okay.
Yeah. I recommend you play it. Do that because it's fairly cheap from wherever because it's an old game. So.
Oh, okay, cool. It's on Steam, right?
Steam. I was playing it on PlayStation 5. It was on It was a game of the month for a
nice.
while.
Yeah. Okay, my last one is a film that's come out very recently. I think it's no longer in the cinemas in the UK, but it's only just disappeared. It's kind of... I'm trying to go to more horror films at the cinema. I feel like horror needs supporting. And it's kind of on the right, there's been successful horror recently. The Substance had a great critical response, for example. And I'm trying to support it, though I get some naff ones, like I mentioned, like The Wolfman, things like that. But this one was pretty good. It was called Companion. It's kind of... I wouldn't call it a horror, but it's definitely got thriller elements, and it's kind of sci-fi thriller with a bit of very dark comedy. Now, the lead in it is Sophie Thatcher, who I know as one of the mods in Book of Boba Fett, but she was pretty good. She was striking in that, right? But she's pretty great in this. Jack Quaid's also in this. Quaid, we've seen him he's been in The Boys. In
Lower Decks.
Lower Decks,
he's Superman in the animated show.
Oh, is he? Right, okay. He's pretty good. And basically, it's I don't want to spoil it, but I think some of the things to talk about are in the trailer, so it should be right. Basically, it's a few couples converging for a weekend away, but it turns out no, all is not what in a sci-fi sense. I'm trying to. Anyway, it's a lot of fun. I quite enjoyed it. All the performances are good. It's a little gory, but it's not scary. So it's a lot. Actually, there is quite a bit of gore in places, blood specifically in places. But it's kind of, and also it keeps changing. It's one of those kind of thrillers where you think you understand, and some aspect about one of the people suddenly throws. Oh, hold on. watching this, and you kind of go back and think back on what you've watched. It's one of those kind of films. I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun. It's definitely, if you missed it this summer, I'll catch it as soon as it's on streaming or available. It's worth, especially if it's on one of the free things. Definitely give it a go. Sophie Thatcher is one to watch. She's very good. I have to say, I'm thinking horror. Some of the acting, specifically from the female actors, has been great lately. Right? We get Mia Goth in stuff like Maxine and Pearl. We get Lily Rose Depp was absolutely fantastic in Nosferatu.
Okay.
Samara Weaving's been good in stuff like Ready or Not. And another one, Sophie Thatcher was great in this. And The Substance, Demi Moore and I'm forgetting the young lady's name, Quilly, I can't remember. She was great in The Substance. It's like horror is like the place to go if you want to see great acting at the minute. Is how I feel. It might be because I watch a lot of horror films, I don't know.
Yeah, might have something to do with it. So.
Companion was a good, I'd say a kind of 7 out of 10 kind of film. Decent,
Okay.
It was a pretty punchy, no bagginess. Kind of fun. There's some quite laugh out loud moments when people are getting outraged about kind of wokey stuff. There's lots of jokes about wokiness. People just talking nonsense in the middle of a bloodbath. They're sort of saying, "No, don't use these words." It's like what, things like that, which is kind of fun as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Anyway, back to you.
Okay, so my last thing is actually 2 books that I've been listening to and just been able to finish in the interim. It's the next couple of stories in the Horus Heresy series. The Warhammer 40k prequel series that I've been listening to. And this is all about the big sort of turning points in the heresy where the antagonist Horus became openly rebellious to the Emperor and the Loyalists' attempts to get the message back to the Imperium about what's happened here. And that's Galaxy in Flames, which is more about the planet of Eastman 3, where everything went to hell. It was where the so-called traitor legions killed all the loyalist elements, and the flight of the Eisenstein, which is the attempt to get that message that Horus has gone traitor back to the Imperium. They're really good. I'm not going to go too much into them because it's won't spoilers into. There's a lot going on. These are like 12, 15-hour books to listen on Audible, so they're not short, but they're all really engaging. Like you will want to if not take part in the game, you'll want to look into the lore of some of the characters and factions.
Okay, cool. Is it the same reader for both books?
No, they actually they had the same reader for the first 4 books because those have a focus on the the first 3 books because they have a focus on a faction called the Lunar Wolves, who got renamed to the Sons of Horus, as well as the loyalist sort of leader of them. So our focal character was a guy called Garviel Loken. And they switched it for the flight of the Eisenstein because they were on a different faction called the Death Guard. We're following a guy called Nathaniel Garrow. So we're kind of switching with whoever's the main character, which I quite like so far.
Okay, cool. And how many books are there in this series then?
There are a lot. There's like 60. There's so many. Dan Abnett writes to them. You might know from 2000 AD stuff.
I know there's a lot of Warhammer books, but I thought you were talking about a specific series, or do you mean
this one series has, in terms of actual published books, 64 books and a lot of other short stories as well.
Okay.
So,
I imagine short stories are really entertaining about this kind of universe, actually.
Yeah,
I assume they're going to be like a siege or, some battle or some caper.
I know a few are literally just like characters are going to fight someone and they just have a discussion about how terrible it is that the events and what's going on. They're apparently the most intriguing ones. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Right, I think that kind of winds up our comfy chair. We've had a long comfy chair today. It's interesting stuff though. Right, so now let's talk about Tron. Okay, Tron. First watch for you. Let's just jump in. What's your general thoughts?
I really liked it.
Yeah,
this took off. So
yeah, I really like it, but I have to say on this rewatch, I was spotting some of the flaws and thinking about some of the reasons why I really still like it, despite those flaws.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Do you think the graphics on that hold up now? Do they look chunky?
Yeah, I quite like. Okay, they do look a bit chalky. Like
Yeah.
the sheen that they use to make everything look like white or black or however, it doesn't 100% come across. But that's just because of skin texture.
Yeah.
Like it's you can't really avoid it. I don't think it looked good. Well, we can see it didn't look good as well as good enough in Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
But what I was quite surprised about, considering how early in this is, you didn't see much of what I refer to as ice skating, which is when people are walking around and their like feet don't seem to stay still when they put them down.
Oh, okay.
Like, you see it every so often in like someone's running through a CG set while they look like they're moving too slow for what they're running or they're too fast.
Yeah, there was none of that
doesn't
in
match
this.
up. No, like
Yeah.
I was keeping an eye on it and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, because I think when they had the humans on, they were actually on sets with sets made up to look like what they should be. It wasn't like it wasn't like green screen, was it? I don't think.
Yeah.
Or there was elements of
There
that
was a lot
perhaps
of
in
green
some.
screen, but
Yeah.
it was good enough that I just couldn't spot the
Yeah.
like movement issues. So
Yeah. To me, this feels like, I have to say, I really do like the visuals in this. I feel like it's a bit like practical effects, right?
Yeah.
Versus CG, which is practical effects which look fake but feel real, right?
yeah,
Whereas some bad CG looks real but feels fake. This looked fake but felt real,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
Except for the wide CG shots, some of those were a bit ropey, but it's like I'll forgive it because they were trying something new, and it's kind of supposed to look like that.
I also think the art design was exceptionally good.
Oh yeah,
It was simple, but it was just effective. They went. Almost all their decisions were good ones, I think. There was one I'll get to where they really should not have made that decision, but it involved someone's helmet. But other than that,
was it the guard, not the Guardian?
No, the old bloke.
Yeah, the old bloke who's like locked.
It looked
into
like
his...
a penis.
Yes,
on his head.
yes.
Yes. Yeah, or something like that. Or if you want to be kind of cucumber or something. I don't know. It just looked stupid. One thing that I was chuckling about when it started was how absolutely nerdy the dialogue was. It just was so nerdy.
Yeah.
When they're having discussions, we need to hack this.
Go.
And they're obviously writing it because computers weren't that, the lingo wasn't that well known.
Yeah.
So they basically went full 100%. Let's put on what sounds like nerds talk, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh god, what are they talking about? It's like, we got to do this and plug. It's like, oh my goodness. Some of the discussions when Bruce Boxer, like a character, and his girlfriend and Jeff Bridges were sitting around talking about. Oh, I wrote all those games. I wrote Space Paranoids and all that kind of stuff. So, the program might be in there, and I've written this one called Tron and all this, that, and the other. It made me laugh. And I have to say, some of the dialogue they gave to David Warner was horrible.
Yeah.
But it's David Warner, right? So he delivers it convincingly.
Yeah, there's also a lot of David Warner talking to David Warner.
Oh, no, yeah, because he was
like
the MCP, wasn't
he's
he?
both the MCP, the main villain, and Sark, the sort of
Oh,
student.
yeah, he was free, basically free roles. Right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to go through it scene by scene, because honestly, I always get confused with the timelines in Tron. It's like, what happens next? I cannot remember.
Basically, there's a bunch of games, and then they get on a sailor, and then they win. That's the sort of overall plot when they're in the setting.
Yeah, the ordering is a little confused. And I don't think the movie's not great until basically Flynn gets sucked into the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
As it were. You can see where the Matrix got some of his ideas from, don't you, in this film as well.
I think I weirdly prefer the way they did it in the sequel, where it's like we just don't see anything of the grid until he actually gets in the grid. Yeah, because this is just like you cut in between real world and these guys who have a weird glowy people who talk about their religion a lot. It's like, oh yeah, the users, they're not real. That's a fake.
Yeah, I mean
religion.
that bit does feel quite Red Dwarf, doesn't it? In places,
Yeah.
Silicon Heaven and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like the fact that it's like, oh yes, we have programs here that are, he's just taking all the programs of the world and control, that they're subsumed under the MCP. And I also like some of the old MCP saying things like, I'm 2,815 times more intelligent than you now, and all this.
Yeah.
And that felt a bit Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah.
Deep thought, right?
Yeah.
There was a touch of that. Overall, so it starts with Flynn. He runs a video arcade. That's how he makes his money. But all these people are watching him because he's beating a world title. He's basically getting the highest score ever.
Yeah.
And it comes down to one shot that looks amazingly easy. But it's an amazing. It's like,
It's like there's like a reticule moving along, and then he shoots, and it doesn't match up with the reticule.
Yeah,
that's like,
okay. Yeah.
So,
but he gets the highest score possible, and then deliberately crashes the game so he doesn't roll over the score.
Yeah.
Which was a thing back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah. And he runs a little video code. He got fired. Basically, he wrote all these awesome games, and then
got
this
sacked, and then someone else took the credit.
Yeah, which was Dillinger. Took the
David
credit.
Warner.
Yeah, David Warner. And he basically has got this master control program, which was originally a chess program, which I wasn't quite sure. I couldn't work out if he wrote it or the old bloke wrote it, and he just substituted the old.
I think the old bloke wrote it. It was Dillinger wrote the chess program, which then I guess started to incorporate others and became the MCP.
Yeah.
And then the MCP kind of took over, just incorporating everything. So
okay,
but I don't know how it got from chess program to MCP.
It kind of also this film freaked me out a bit because I was just like, hold on, I know that bloke, the bloke playing Crom. I recognised him, and only because I very, very, very recently started watching Babylon 5.
Yeah,
and that bloke playing Crom is an actor called Peter Jurassic who plays Londo in Babylon 5. And it's like, oh my God, that's so weird because I've literally just started watching it and it's like 30 odd years old now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's weird. So Dr. Gibbs is the old bloke. I was just trying to find his name.
Yeah.
And there's essentially all the programs have personalities and names.
Yeah.
And types. They all generally want to help do their work. That's their
they
main
just want
motive.
to do whatever their user design.
Yeah, and the MCP is like basically throttling and controlling all the throughput, so they have to do everything it says. And one of the things it does is it finds weak programs and puts them into combat games. It's like an evolutionary thing. It's so weird.
Yeah.
The whole concept's so weird, but it's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I was trying to decide, is this film suitable for our whole of Good, Bad and Odd? Because there's some bad stuff, but it's kind of awesome looking, but it doesn't quite work.
Because I don't think it pulls in any of the three directions enough.
Enough. Yeah. I mean, the bad is some of the dialogue that David Warner's given when he's the computer program is horrible. I mean, really bad. I mean, he says things like, "Be quiet, bit brain.
Yeah.
If I want you to think, I'll order you to think," or something like that.
But he's not talking like David Warner.
He's talking like a tech
talking
bro.
like a computer. No, so he's talking like a text-to-speech voice. So he's talking like this, sort of thing.
And there's that too. It's just, oh man, it's bad. But the rest of them talk. The dialogue's not bad. It sort of makes sense. However, let's get on to the games, right? Because that is kind of the awesome stuff, as well as some of the crappy. First game is the one where they got to destroy each other's rings. That they're all
the weird, like they've got the scoop
by hitting. It's almost like squash, but basically when you're hitting, if certain things hit the floor, bits of the floor disappear, and then eventually there's nothing left on the floor and you die.
Fall.
And that's where Crom gets it right.
Yeah.
Who says I'm a compound interest program?
Yeah.
Or something.
It's just like a banking app.
Yeah, it's so weird that he's been put into. It's like why?
Yeah.
But it don't matter. And basically, Flynn, he's got a name, isn't it? Is it Clue? But he is Flynn. He's not. He's basically embodies his own program.
Yeah, all the programs are played by the same actors that play their
programmers. Yeah.
So Clue is also Jeff Bridges. Tron is also Bruce Boxleitner, who plays Alan Bradley, his creator. And David Warner plays the MCP and Sark. We don't actually know if Dillinger made Sark, but he plays him.
Yeah, and we also have his girlfriend.
Laura Yuri, and we get Dr. Gibbs and Dumont.
Yeah. But Flynn's the only one who's a real user. The rest of them are computer programs, aren't they? And there's this chatter about, the MCP is that you're allowed to live if you deny the existence of users, and it's a religion kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a cult thing, isn't it? He's trying to they stop them believing in users. Which is kind of I don't go into it too much, but it's kind of an interesting aspect of the whole thing. But that first game's pretty awesome. I do remember playing a video game, Tron, and there was 4 sub-games within it. One of them was the rings, and one was the tanks. And, the light cycles was probably the most famous.
You got to go the light cycles.
The light cycles. But yeah. So there's that game, which Flynn refuses to kill the guy, but Alan Warner's character just presses the button and the rings
kills him.
Just kills him. That's it. I'm had enough. Which makes me laugh because they was going, we got to kill him. And it's like, you literally have buttons to kill people.
Yeah.
So it's so weird.
Well, I guess in this case it was more it just dropped the platform. So it makes more sense that they have control of the platforms to do that.
Yeah,
but
I guess so, yeah.
So
essentially... I get confused about all the characters kind of split up, and it kind of confuses me.
Yeah, we end up with a weird
does the character disappear?
So they get put. Tron and Flynn get put onto a bike, onto the bike game, the Light Cycles.
Light Cycle, which is awesome.
Yeah, with RAM.
Really
it's
awesome.
another program that's around. So they end up escaping from there because they basically get someone else, one of the opponents, to crash into a wall, which breaks it. They escape from there and get split up. Tron goes to try and find Yuri, and Flynn and Ram basically just try and hide.
Yeah. We should also mention how Flynn got into all this. Basically, he went into a room with a laser program. Basically, it sounded like a motion capture device, really, from the way they described it.
Yeah.
But essentially, it shot him and he got sucked into the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Kinda. That's kind of it. And he's the only user in the Matrix. Everyone else's programs, right?
Yeah. And everyone's kind of shocked when he starts talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, you're Alan's program. And he's like, how did you know my user? So.
Yeah. And there is a sequence when he first gets zapped, which is kind of 2001 Stargate thing, where you're kind of going through cyberspace, I guess. And it's kind of, you're just seeing it. You're not seeing him traveling. You've got a first person view of moving through like dots and lines and wireframes and things like that. It's kind of cool looking. But sorry. So to get back to the story, the Light Cycle is an awesome little thing, and it's the bit everyone remembers, really.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about this film, I haven't seen it. I did watch it maybe a year ago, but before that, I hadn't watched it in 20 years. But I still remembered it very vividly. It's a very memorable kind of film. But I guess Tron Legacy, there's bits of Tron Legacy I still remember quite distinctly.
Yeah.
The disco and the Light Cycle, really.
Yeah. Watching this does kind of make Tron Legacy a bit more depressing, knowing what happens to Tron. He gets basically put in the same position as Sark in this.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's miserable.
Yeah. I agree. the light cycle stuff's awesome. But when they get out, these weird, I don't even know what the craft's called, but they got like legs, haven't they?
They're like reclaimers, I think they're called, something like that.
Yeah, they got movable legs, but they're kind of floaty.
Yeah.
They're not all connected. They're kind of floaty things that move and try and block things and stuff like that. But they managed to get out, and there's an alert saying things like, "You've escaped from the..."
That's it.
Oh, okay.
So,
Recognize it, right? There's a bit where there's an alarm going off, and it goes, "You have left the gaming zone.
yeah.
Please return immediately," and all this. Mind you, they're zipping around on their bikes and they go their separate ways and stuff like that. Tron is. I'm trying to think. What
Tron
Tron's
kind of just
gone
goes
off
and gets Yuri, and then
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, then they go to the Guardian, the guy with the weird penis hat.
God! I had to giggle every time
because he's in this big
bad
coat cover thing as well, with just his arms sticking out.
Yeah, I was trying to think. It was kind of reminding me of the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, and this film is a bit Alice in Wonderland, a bit never-ending story. It's that kind of. You've gone into a weird world, right?
Yeah, it's an adventure in another world. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dumont gives Tron the disc that can kill the MCP.
Yeah.
And that. I'm going to be frank, Tron and Flynn are having two different movies here.
Yeah.
Tron is fighting the government basically for a religious.
And Flynn's trying to find his file.
Flynn's just trying to find a file so he can make money.
Yeah. And the file proves that he wrote the programs, which
Yeah.
means he'll get all the money, right?
Yeah,
That's
royalties. That's it.
Yeah.
So they meet back up after a weird sequence where it shows Flynn can change his light colors.
Yeah, he goes through. Well, there's another bit. There's another program called RAM with them, isn't there?
Yeah, he's a third guy.
And there's kind of an interesting scene where Ram dies, but he recognises Flynn's not a program. And it kind of confirms his faith. He goes, "Oh, it's like a religious thing for Ram." Although they don't call it dying, they call it de-resin.
Yeah.
Al Flynn's off doing his business while Tron's getting a special disc that contains all the things he needs to inject into the system to close down the MCP or something like that.
Yeah. They basically accidentally meet back up on a boat.
Yeah, a light boat, which is, again, cool. Reminded me a bit of a Dooku starship.
Yeah, the weird sail thing.
Yeah.
So they basically spend about a third of the movie on this boat, just sort of traveling along, and it's various shenanigans that the MCP and Sark put in their way. They send a couple of recognizers down the cable after them. They duck them. They duck some bugs for a bit. They never actually fight the bugs, but they just sort of avoid them.
Yeah. Doesn't Flynn also get control of one of the ships at one point, or somehow rebuild it?
So after
recognizer, right?
While he's sorting out with things with Ram, they end up hiding in the wreckage of a recognizer, and while he's he kind of grabs the controls because the whole thing seems to power up when he touches it. Yeah, I guess a benefit of being a user, which would, again, having seen Tron Legacy, a similar sort of thing happens where he walks into a bar, puts his hand on the ground, and it just powers up all the programs that are on his side.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah. We are jumping back and forth because the story's a bit like that. It's it doesn't kind of flow from A to B. It's just random scenes just put together, which makes it sound terrible, but no, it's fine. It's more like an experience than a narrative. Let's put it that way. But it's kind of cool. I do like the light traveling along the light beam because there's two recognizers chasing them one way, and then something gets fired back towards them.
Yeah, they say it's like an energy surge.
Yeah.
So what Flynn does is, again, user powers. He kind of just jumps on the front of the ship, puts his hand in the energy surge, and uses it to pull them over to another rail.
Yeah, so they get put on
they get
another
pulled along,
row.
and then the surge carries on and just smashes the recognizers.
It's quite a bit Neo-y, isn't it? It's quite
Yeah.
Neo-y what Flynn can do. So yeah, again, Matrix feels like it's kind of borrowing from this a bit in terms of some of the concepts. But in the end, Tron gets where he needs to, but the MCP is kind of dealing with him. But Flynn kind of sacrifices himself.
Yeah, so Flynn jumps into the MCP from above. Tron is fighting Sark and kills him. We get like a weird, like bleeding gems effect when he cuts Sark's head open.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then the MCP kind of just revives Sark and makes him giant. And when Flynn jumps into the MCP, it like opens up his defenses. So Tron just throws the disc and cuts the MCP in half.
It feels a bit Star Wars, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That bit? Yeah. I also like the bit where the MCP threatens Sark with de-resin, doesn't he? You have no time, and he starts kind of fading out. I also like sometimes when there's damage to them, their faces kind of turn out a bit 8-bit.
Yeah.
Don't they? That's kind of cool as well.
That's fun.
Yeah, so in the end, it looks like Flynn's dead, but actually he just reappears in the real world.
He just got sent to the real world.
And then suddenly a printout comes up saying, confirmed, Flynn wrote these games, priority 1, and somehow that printout makes it, it's proof. But also, in the real world, Dillinger also sees this printout. So, yeah. And I have to say, the film Crash finishes... not quite. Basically, we see Flynn's taking over the company, and then it ends.
Yeah.
Because he flies in an helicopter, and then it just ends. And that's fine. Punchy film.
Yeah.
Quite enjoyable, though, right? Even though you could sort of say some of the dialogue's horrible... Some of the narrative's a bit confusing. And I've watched it several times and I still get confused over the narrative. It's like, what? Where are they going? Again, things like that. But yeah. Yeah, so any final thought? I could have a look at some of the comments when it came out about that. Should we have a look at some of the research?
I remember reading it wasn't very well received. It was well received, but it just didn't make money. So,
okay. I remember. I went to see this at the cinema.
Budget of 17 million, box office 50 million. So it did make money, but not a spectacular amount.
Yeah,
but it looks like there was still like a franchise developed around it because that kind of came back in the early 2010s. So.
I think there was an animated TV series, but I've never seen it. I don't remember.
Yeah, Tron Uprising. And there's apparently a film coming out later this year. Tron Ares.
Okay. Tron Ares. I might rewatch Legacy then.
Jared Leto, and I'm not interested anymore.
I don't know.
He's a weirdo cult leader who lives on an island.
It's Roger Ebert gave this film 4 out of 4. They said a dazzling movie from Disney, in which computers have been used to make themselves romantic and glamorous. He says it's sensational, brainy, stylish, and fun. I'm not sure if it's that brainy. It's stylish and fun, but yeah.
It was basically the big technological push that got CG made.
Yeah. Because I think the first film after this to use CG for its effects, space effects, was one called The Last Starfighter, and you can see it. The effects are shrinking.
I remember
but it's a really fun film. That one. Maybe we'll do that sometime. So yeah, it was a solid one. Variety hated it, and a few other critics didn't like it, but it did okay, but not enough to warrant a remake until Tron Legacy, I guess.
Yeah. So they're now back on the back burner again. So
yeah, get this. I like this. The Academy, Oscars refused to nominate Tron for special effects because they thought using computers for special effects was cheating. Okay. Forward. And the Oscars constantly get it, so, okay. All right. So how would you rate this film?
I'd rate this 7 or 8 out of 10. So,
I agree with you. I think that's a perfectly good score. It's a bit better than a 7, not quite an 8. So, so it's a very solid, fun film. But it looks like in some corners it's really highly regarded. For example, 2008, the American Film Institute, right, nominated this film to be put in its top 10 science fiction films, which seems a bit odd. I think that's going a bit strong. There's way better science fiction films than this. And there must be at least 10 of them, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more of a throwaway film, I think, is you know, when you consider some of the other stuff around. I mean, jeez. But yeah, it's a decent film. And good pick. Glad you picked it.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to watch. Yeah, all right then. Let's wind up there then. So bye from me.
Bye.